All right then. So, I was just been in London for the week, so I took the week off basically. Just decided to take a little break from the charts after our last win. I've had a brief look over last week's moves whilst I was away, just to keep myself involved in the markets, just so I had an idea of what was going on. And I can see that we had a bit of a bullish week. So Oh, that'd be brilliant if that would load there. Yeah, so Monday you can see we had the wick of the candle form. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We came in and filled this imbalance here. That was a previous target. So it's nice to see that we are actually filling in that move. I think Tuesday was a really volatile day. I know a lot of people had a bit of trouble trading that on that day. But I'm just going to go and get into each of the days, really, see what we were working with. So where were we at? Monday was the 21st. All right, let's have a look then. So, yeah, so Monday we came down, taking this previous day high from the previous week. What do we do here? So on the hourly, we're just going to do a brief scan of what happened, because I'm going to have to keep moving the charts back. So, bit of accumulation and trade up, I'm guessing above opening price, or just into an imbalance formed after opening price. A little bit of accumulation, then push down, sweep. What do we take? Anything down here? Ooh. So we're looking at this. So yeah, we came back into this inverse fair value gap here and filled it a bit more. Interestingly, it came to like the same point as this wick instead of coming down a bit lower, but maybe that was the whole reason for it to come back down, to actually fill it in as a body rather than a wick. And then, let's have a look. Tuesday, what was going on Tuesday? Swipe this to 15. All right. So looking at this, what do we have from the previous day? First thing I'll be looking at is this and this. You can see these 2 points imbalance and just a big gap there, just filled by a wick, briefly touched and then just come down. So here we have this breaker structure, price just continues up, sort of just fills this imbalance all the way and then hits this lovely little order block here, and we come back down, get a small reaction off that in the London session, before then coming down just before into this imbalance here. And then we get a nice reaction further up. Obviously, we are still bullish. We still have like all this liquidity sitting along here. All of this along here with this imbalance over here. So, yeah, the move that I marked out, it was a bit later in the session, which is like, it's a nice move, but I wouldn't have taken it personally, just because, as you can see here on the 15-minute, it's past, it's like 11:30 on that candle. But what it is on the smaller time frame, we trade back into this imbalance here, or you can even see it here. Trade back into that as a retrace, and then push up to take, that higher time frame gap here, and then this one up here, I believe. So if I just come across, so that wicks perfectly. So you look at this line across here, fills that imbalance, and then we get a move down. So that would have been a nice trade, but yeah, it would have been past my trading time, so I'm not too stressed about that. And then coming into PM session, the market gaps quite a bit here. I don't know how many pips that is. 287 to 350. So that's quite a bit of a gap there on the 15-minute after 6 p.m. on the Tuesday. Let's have a look at that. So we can see all of this. So I'm going to guess. Okay. So it's not quite exact there. But yeah, after we've taken that previous daily low, you know, we've come down, broken structure here, price is moving in a bit of a bullish way, continue, take one out that went long there. And then we're just aiming for this. This is the next liquidity pool up here. And yeah, you know, price has just come up. You can see that on the Wednesday. And to be honest, looking at this, I think this was when it was a bit messy, unless it was the Monday. But yeah, it's not massive. I'm kind of happy I did take the week off. I suppose if you're looking at another move here, we come down into this. I'm guessing that leans, probably lean on the stuff we've seen over there before we push up again. And then we clear this. We've got this nice fair value gap here, trade back down into that. You could go long there with your stops here, targeting, you know, this imbalance. So if you were to do that, that would look like, so you had to go like that, and then that, targeting imbalance. You know, it's not massive trade, 1.8 to 1, or you could even target these highs. Now that's a bit more of a move for you, but that's a really nice trade. But yeah, even still, it's a bit early for my liking. So if we were looking at taking that in the actual session, so what's this on Thursday? Drop down into the 5 minutes, see what we can find. Where am I looking now? I don't know if I'm on Thursday or Friday here. Okay. So knowing what we know, we're going to have opening price here. Price trades below, then we come back down into it. Bang, there. I mean, yeah, it's not massively clear in the 5 minute. There might be like a lower time frame entry there. But you know, the move does happen a bit earlier here for an ideal push up. So taking that on Thursday, you know, we eventually come up here, take this, which is also past here. So this sweep here on the Wednesday takes this, and then that is the liquidity pool that then forces price down. Where's the next liquidity pool? Well, this big fucking gap here. Yeah, we're still bullish. So you could have even just gone long there on a swing trade type shit and just pushed up to target. Well, what's chilling around here? 4 hour. I mean, yeah, we got this up here, and then eventually this gap here. So, you know, it's one of them. No trades at all. It's nice to take a week out, to be honest. I'm like ready to get back into it. Ready to focus back in again. But yeah, I'm quite certain that we're now in a bit more of an order block. We just traded back down into this, and then nice little move up for the week into this. The actual weekly candles, yeah, I mean, that's looking a bit more bullish now, wouldn't you say? Like we've come back off this higher time frame order block, and now we're making our ways back up here. So for the next few weeks, my targets are going to be ideally this high, then this high. I know on the daily chart there is a nice little gap somewhere. So don't be surprised if we see a move down on Monday after filling this in. Maybe even down into this bit here. I would still be anticipating this high gets taken. And then eventually up here. I think on the Nasdaq is a bit clearer. Yeah, so you got this with this order block here. So 21,515, around that sort of level. So that's like 1,100 points still to go in the next few weeks. Also, we're trading with a bit more of a higher time frame view at the moment, but I think you just have to be a bit more aware of like the macro picture of what is actually happening on the higher time frame. Like, you see this, we traded all the way down into here, boom, reaction straight up. This was a perfect buying opportunity for anyone that was looking at the markets and not sure when to get in, because of just the mad movement over the last year. Like, since November or January 2024, 16,000 we were at. We went all the way up to 22,000 in a year. So this was just a correction here. You know what I mean? They happen. It's how it works. It's how it works. It was a correction. And this is these are monthly candles as well. So yeah, that's the main thing. The week was pretty much bullish. We had the nice formation of the daily candles. With that being said, I just want to go into my Bitcoin analysis here. So yeah, this is kind of eyeing up to be on its way. Like, this is a very long-term setup, you know what I mean? Where everyone was freaking out when price came down into here, and they're like, oh my god, it's like 80k, it's like 75k. No, it needs to fucking retrace, mate. You had all these big fuck off weekly candles here that were just untouched, and all this consolidation around 100k, just above 100k. Like, do you know what I mean? You need to pull back in order to then reach these higher moves. Yeah, this is a very, very long term move. 195k is not a prediction, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it go there eventually. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it just goes to show that this little placement in this highlighted area. So the first one was the weekly buy side, and I was like, right, price is going to draw there. Initially tapped it and moved up, and I was like, oh fuck, I missed it. And then we come back in and actually wick the whole of this imbalance here, and now we've got a nice push up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Bitcoin rallying again soon. As you can see, like, Ethereum has finally reached the bottom of its weekly range. For reference, on the monthly range, that's like that. We've wicked down here, touched this, or we've at least wicked down here below this range, and then come up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we also start seeing Ethereum making a bit of a move. If it comes up to like 2.6 and then push down, then fine. But like, look how it's previously reacted. Like, you come down, fill this in, bit of a blah blah blah, and then you get the move up again. But yeah, Solana as well is kind of in a, you can see this was my first real bull and bear run cycle when I got on the initial hype of Solana and got out in 2022. If I just held, we would have been laughing, mate. But you got to make mistakes to learn them. So I was anticipating a nice little move up here. I mean, we did actually get like a wick of a move, but yeah, before coming down sweeping all this, bodies line up perfectly with this push up. So I'm sort of anticipating now that we're gonna start seeing a bit more bullish movement. Gold has had a bit of a slowdown just because it was absolutely ripping on the weekly. With all this uncertainty in the market, a lot of volatility, so a lot of central banks were just absolutely hammering their cash into gold as like a hedge against the markets. But yeah, I'm not going to go on for too much longer just because it's Saturday. Just wanted to get a nice little review done. And yeah, going into next week, I could check the news actually. We have a federal election. What's going on there? Oh, in Canada. Okay. Interesting. Sound. Job openings Tuesday. That's about it. GDP, UCI, PCE. So Wednesday's looking like Might see a bump of volatility. What about Thursday? Bit of unemployment, manufacturing PMI. And then Friday, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. So, yeah, I mean, it is quite manageable news this week. We haven't got anything hugely massive, I wouldn't say. But yeah, we can anticipate potential opportunities within these days. But yeah, just wanted to catch myself back up, really. Just get a nice picture on where we are actually at, because we've been out of it for a week. And with that, I will be back on Monday.